On the 12th day of the outage, those crazy dickheads gave to me a brand new server attached to my IP. G'day mates, we're back in action. So day 12, our VPS springs back to life with no email, no communication from crazy domains. Now our data is there, our files, our database is also there. No emails from the 6th of October. What I believe has happened is this. I believe our old server was hacked and encrypted along with many of you. And I think what Crazy Domains has done is they have shat their pants. They have gone into lockdown mode and then they've used backups. They've probably got some sort of backup system going on, and they've used backups to do fresh installs on brand new servers, attach the IP addresses and get them going. That's my hypothesis. That's what I believe's happened. I believe there's been a hack. You guys know that. I've shown you the proof. But look, we got our server back online and we were able to get our database, and I guess that's a consolation. Now to start, I want to show you their status update page and where it fails, because it's just not good enough as far as I'm concerned. So on the 13th, we get an update. Our teams are continuing to work 24/7 to solve the ongoing performance issues that are impacting some VPS servers, blah, 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 blah. Now on the 14th, one day later, we get a copy and paste of that exact message. Then 3 days go by without an update. No information on the one page that we go to for information. And as you guys know, 3 days in business without any information or websites and emails is a lifetime. And then on the 17th, we get the same one again, copy and paste. No new information, no updates, no ETA, no what the cause of the problem is, just technical fault, copy and paste, boom, 3 days later. So those crazy dickheads can apologize all they like. Oh, we're very sorry for the inconvenience caused, blah, 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 blah. That doesn't cut it. You have a status page and you have not done any updates in 3 days. And when you do, your Control C, Control V, fuck you, not good enough. All right, so that's just an absolute joke. There's no excuse for that. But just get on that status update page. Everyone knows it's there, and tell people what the fuck is going on. Sorry, as you can tell, I'm still a little worked up. Over the 12 days, I've been in contact with the Australian Cybersecurity Centre, giving them all the information that I'm giving to you, and I'd like to confirm that they are tracking the event and seeking further information. If they're like any other government agency, they will be hopeless. So, toothless tigers, they won't do anything, all right? I've dealt with enough government agencies to know that they're generally understaffed, undermanned, and they have no power. So, don't expect anything to come from this, but just thought I'd let you know anyway. Now, a few people on the Facebook group have been complaining that their service has been going up, but then quickly coming down again. So Paul writes, my VPS had been intermittent last week, on and off, almost reliable. Then Saturday around 3 p.m, it stopped working and hasn't been working since. I had 3 conversations with support yesterday, but still waiting. Steve, we are still down. They are likely in breach of Australian Consumer Law, Section 60 and 36 in particular. Is anyone else still down? So this was today, and poor old Steve, still no VPS. Now I found this one interesting. Kathy, Crazy Gate 2022. The plot thickens. I've had 12 clients impacted by this crap, and I've got all up and running except one. Despite me asking her over and over this week if she was sure her domain was with Crazy Domains, she has finally now told me that no, it's with Vodian. I've logged in to check the DNS and the entire thing is gone. No DNS settings at all attached to her domain. Dug a little further. Vodian is owned by the same company as Crazy Domains, which means it isn't just Crazy Domain sites that are impacted, clearly. now waiting on their domain team to get back to me as the chat service couldn't help in any way, which in itself is interesting. Very interesting. And then she followed up with this. As a business owner, this level of non-service is beyond my comprehension. I've just asked why all the DNS information has been removed from the site. Their reply, because you removed it 10 days ago. We can see that in the site changes. Oh my God, seriously, these people are horrendous. Until yesterday, this client didn't even remember her domain was with Vodian. So I spent 9 days trying to sort it out with Crazy Domains before they discovered she was with Vodian. And now they're telling me we removed it all? I don't think so. So in light of all this, I thought it might be interesting to just check out a little bit of the Crazy Domains background and see who actually is Crazy Domains. And oh my God, what a fucking rabbit hole. Bear with me because it's fucking crazy. All right. So we start our tumble down this rabbit hole back in 1997 with an IT company called Endurance International Group, EIG, which achieved size by acquiring a large number of smaller companies that continued to operate under the original brand names while moving its IT infrastructure to India. I imagine they keep their original brand names to diversify business risk. If they're all under the one business name and there's a problem, well, there's a big problem. But if only one of the businesses has a problem, then not such a big problem. In 2008, Endurance and its 24 branded sites were then acquired by technology-focused private equity firm Accel KKR for an undisclosed sum. In 2011, Warburg Pincus and GS Capital Partner, which is Goldman Sachs, signed a deal to acquire Endurance International Group Inc. from Accel KKR for $975 million. In 2013, they took EIG public, raising $252 million, selling shares at $12 each. They wanted to raise $400 million, but fell well short of that. The goal was to use free cash flow and access to capital markets to acquire more assets, basically buy up more small internet service providers. So they hit up the markets, hit up those dumb retail investors, you and me, and they used that cash to just buy up a bunch of smaller companies. They made a bunch of acquisitions, but the shares flopped and dropped to a low of $2 during the GFC. All right, so they're not doing too well. Fast forward to 2020, and Endurance International Group was purchased by Clearlake Capital Group. The private equity company paid $9.50 a share, which was a 64% premium over the last closing price of $5.81, but still well below the initial public offering price of $12. So they're being bought out by private equity. And then 1 year later, Clearlake Capital Group spun off the Endurance Web Presence division, including its subsidiaries Domain.com and HostGator. So they've done a takeover of EIG on the stock market, and now they're spinning it off into another company. Endurance Web Presence then merged with a competitor, Web.com, which is owned by Cirrus Capital Group, to form a new company named Newfold Digital. Newfold Digital. Newfold Digital is a joint venture between Clearlake Capital, the short-term owners of Endurance, remember they took them over on the stock exchange, and Cirrus Capital Group, owner of Web.com since 2018. So they were once competitors, and now they've decided, you know what, instead of competing, why don't we just merge into a big ass company, call it Newfold. In 2019, Web.com was acquired by Dreamscape Networks, owner of Crazy Domains, for $105 million. So who owns Crazy Domains, you ask? These people: Jose E. Feliciano, Bedeg Igbali, Frank Baker, Peter Berger, and Jeffrey Hendren. A bunch of billionaires, basically. the partners of Clear Lake Capital and Sirius Capital and their joint venture, Newfold Brands, which includes these brands. These are the brands you need to avoid, all right? So a bunch of billionaires sailing around on their private yachts, they could not give a fuck about the small business owners like you and I. They don't care. They don't care at all. All they do is they move their stupid little chess pieces around, buy up all these different companies, list them on the stock exchange, take them over, and then spin them off and then merge with another company. And then they strip out all the costs, send all the servers over to India, and they fuck you and me. And that's how it's all come to be. And then you get a 12-day outage. That's how it all happens, ladies and gents. And a quick message to those billionaires, because I'm sure you're watching. Karma is a bad-ass bitch, and she does not care about your bank balance. You've caused thousands of people a lot of pain, and she's coming for you, so watch out. All right, now, one last thing on refunds, and then we'll wrap up about what I've learned about this experience. So on refunds, I've had one of the crazy domain dweebs call me up today and offer some ridiculous refund. What was like 3 months credit? I literally started laughing at him at that point. It was just so funny. I was laughing and crying at the same time. But no, I won't be taking 3 months credit. I'll go into the terms of service quickly. And I'm just going to read you the important part. We have a 99.9% service uptime guarantee for all our part managed and full managed servers. Should the service experience any downtime due to an error on our behalf that is investigated and proven by us, you can contact our support staff and request a refund or account credit. And this is the important part of the pro rata value of the product from the date of purchase up until the date of determined failure. So I'll quickly explain that. So my VPS was $3,500 per year. I started back early December 2021 and we're now 10 months through. So if you break up that 3.5K, it works out to be about $300 per month times 10 months equals around $3,000. That's what I'm expecting back as a refund based on their terms. They're getting back to me on it, so I'll let you know how that goes. But I'll tell you right now, those billionaires would want to pay up. So that's a bit on the refunds. So make sure you fight hard for those refunds, guys, because they owe you big time. All right, so let's wrap it all up now because it's time to move on with our lives. I'm sick of being angry. So I thought I'd finish up by just sharing with you what I've learned through this whole charade. Being a small business owner, it's never easy. You're always learning, and this is just another speed hump we have to endure, and we've endured a lot over the last few years, especially with COVID. Now, it seems not a week goes by these days where you don't hear of some hack, data breach, whatever it is. You've heard of the Optus one recently. Yesterday it was the Medibank one, and next week we'll hear of another one, all right? It's just the times we are living in. The young kids these days, I mean, they've grown up with this IT, you know, they grow up coding from such an early age, and they're only going to get better. You know, they're absolute guns at what they do, and the security will never keep up with the hackers. The hackers will always win. They will always find a way into whatever system, all right? They're going to find a way in. Some of the podcasts I listen to, I tell you what, I mean, these guys are incredible. So what can we do then as small business owners to survive, basically? Well, I think the only thing we really can do is just make sure we're doing constant backups and have one backup in the cloud and one backup offline on your hard drive. So a couple of backups. Now, the thing that made this outage so difficult was the fact that DNS stuff went down as well. So even if you could move your files and database to another service, over to AWS, whatever, you couldn't get in, or it was very difficult to get in and change the DNS settings to point at your new service. So maybe there's a lesson in that as well. Maybe you need to make sure you have your domain name over here with one company, not from Newfold Brands, obviously, from some company, and then, you know, your files and your database and your website over at another company. Now, we've moved to AWS, Amazon Web Services. And instead of $350 a month, it's $100 a month. And the speed and the features and just everything is 10 times better. It's incredible how much work I can get done now. Like, that's the silver lining out of this, that we have moved from this terribly shit provider to an incredibly good one. So that's another little tip I'll give you. AWS, guys, I'm sure there's some other good ones, but they are kicking goals over there. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's probably my last one, so I wish you all the best. I'll stick around on the Facebook group just a little while longer to see this thing through, and then I'll get on with my life, as I'm sure you will too. Now, I've seen some people saying they're going to stay with Crazy Domains, and that to me is absolute lunacy. After what they've done, you cannot reward these guys with your business. That is a slap in the face to me and every other customer that's been affected by this woeful, woeful experience. All right, shame on them and shame on you if you stick around with Crazy Domains. Move. I know it's a pain in the ass, but you need to move, all right? I won't allow you to stay with them. Anyway, guys, all the best. Bye for now. Cheers.